Jake asked if Stan's name was Staniel.
It's Stan Lee.
I know.
Stan, leave that part in. Leave that part in, Stan.
Staniel. What's up, Staniel? How you doing?
I said, well, it's not, but it is now.
That's funny.
That's all I'm going to call him
That's
now.
it. That's it.
Hey, Staniel.
Staniel. How you doing, Staniel? Jesus,
What are your
Avery.
stickers? Kiss.
Stan, leave that whole part in about your name.
It's not her fault. It's the
Wait, Stan has a folder in my
people.
computer, and it's just called "Shit Ange Said." I'm like, what does that even mean? It's like, I don't know
so
what that
funny.
That
means.
folder is probably full.
That shit is over. It's like,
That's
you need more
overflowing.
space. You're running out of space.
We need an external drive for this.
You have a terabyte hard drive.
It's so funny.
I got a 2 terabyte one.
Start it, Stanley. Wait, no, Staniel.
Daniel.
Start it, Staniel. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Coffee, Community, and Cocktails. I'm your host, Angela McFarland, along with, by popular demand, not my demand, my guest host, Michael Apple.
Thank you.
Welcome
Thank you for
back,
having me.
Michael.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
And
Happy
we
to be
have a
here.
live audience today because these people don't go anywhere without an entourage.
Nope.
And
True.
these people, the family band, Monty, the Montalbano family. Yay! We got Chuck on guitar. We got Big Daddy Russell on bass. We got the GOAT, Joe Money, on drums. And Mikayla is the front woman. And you may not realize that this is Mikayla because her hair is a darker color. You're used to seeing blonde and blue eyes everywhere, but now it's just blue eyes and beautiful brunette hair. It is, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
until she changes her mind again.
Until she changes her- yeah. No, I think this look suits you. I think this is.
I think I match now.
You do. Yeah, you look like you belong in the family now.
We're traumatized.
Maybe people won't ask you if she's adopted. Is she?
That ain't that funny.
Plead the fifth.
Did I just out this family secret?
Gina?
I mean, she looks just
Whoa,
like
whoa,
Gina.
where are we going? Just back center, go back.
Yeah, she looks just like Gina. So the only one we're missing are the two littles, Cece and Gigi, who, make a guest appearance from time to time when Monty plays shows.
Almost every time. But
Well, Cece does. Gigi's a little reluctant.
They're Monty
little
adjacent.
They're Monty adjacent, yeah. Gigi's like, I'm going to make you work for it.
Exactly.
Beg me, and I will come up and sing.
pitch in $25 should be right up on that
That's it.
stage.
Right. Didn't Ava have to pay her to sing at the tap
She
house?
didn't take
You
Gigi,
paid her?
Gigi didn't take it. Gigi didn't take it.
Well, no, but we were all like, Gigi. And then Ava was like, Gigi, I'll give you $20. And then all of a sudden, Gigi was on stage. It's all time.
Gigi has to be in the right mood.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So this sort of new chapter for your family, right? So let's talk about what that's like being the family band. You guys are, you know each other so well. What are the pluses and what are some of the negatives about being in a band with your siblings and your dad? And for you, with your kids? Start.
Okay. Some pluses. Pluses is that I get to do it with my family, and not many people get to do this, so it's just nice to look over and look back and see my brother, my sister, and my dad. with
Hold on.
daughters,
If you hear things like "Yay, Chuck" or "Oh, Joe," it's because Nan's here, and she's the biggest fangirl ever.
Nan's
All right,
his hype woman.
Nan's his high school. Yay, Chuck!
At the unplugged.
That's the unplugged. Yay, Chuck! Yay, Joe!
she's great. Love you, Nan.
Yes.
But no, it's just cool because this is what we do, and it's like this is what we've been doing since we were younger, and we've been around it for such a long time.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It's just like it's natural, but it's just also beautiful because we're with each other, and it's like we can do it with our family. Like this is our thing.
Yeah.
Like everybody that knows us, they know we're part of a group. And
Yeah.
that's like the sickest thing that we could ever tell anybody,
Yeah,
And like I
that's
brag
true.
it's a plus because I get to brag about it and say like, yeah, I get to do this for my family, man. Like this is awesome. Like I wear my heart on my chest in a way with it, you know.
I love that.
Some negatives to it though is just like, you know,
that you got to do it with your family.
No, I mean,
That they're always
that
around.
you're always together.
My family's always there.
I think it's just that we're all really creative too.
Yeah.
And it's just like we all have ideas to be great in our own way and be great and trying to better like all of us. That, you know, compromising can be tough and putting down our egos and stuff, and you know it's hard, but we work through it and it's what you got to do. So I feel like those struggles usually make us better though.
Yeah.
It makes us like it helps us get along and helps us just keep building off of what we have. So it's like one step back, 3 steps forward.
Hold on, is there a question from the peanut gallery? No.
Nope.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
Just some comments.
What about you?
Me?
Yeah, what are some of the pluses to being in this band with your
What are the pluses? I don't know. They all have the same blood as me. That's pretty good. Nah, I don't know. It's like, it's a good time.
It's a good time. What's the negatives?
I can tell you the negatives.
Go ahead.
You're more like, we're with each other all the time, like Chuck said. So you're more like, we get on each other's nerves. Easier.
But here's the
like,
thing. Even when you're not playing,
it's not that
you're
much,
all still
but
together.
yeah, I don't
you
know.
share the same friend group. You do things together. You know, like
Because
we're all sort of attached at the hip, right? Like you see one of us, you see
all of us.
All of us.
Yeah. But it's like that.
Especially Joe's like my kid now. I'm like, Jake, do you want to go out tonight? And he's like, no. I'm like, all right, I'll take Joey.
I don't know. I mean, it's a good time. It's just sometimes we just get on each other's nerves like anybody else. Like, it's not. I don't know.
I think that's the thing, right?
Yeah.
You know that you're in a band with the people that you know better than anybody else.
Yeah, it's
which is good and bad.
We said this on Stan's podcast too, but like it's a different dynamic when you're doing it with people that you know you can be 100% honest with.
Yeah.
Because it's like we're so quick to just like say how we feel.
Yeah.
As opposed to like
holding back more.
Holding back. So it's like everything's out on the table. So when we argue, it's like, all right. And then it's like, but we all figure it out at the end of the day. And we're honest with each other. So it's like we do move forward because it's honesty.
I would say that's
a
positive.
Day, it's like we all want to do the best that we can. And like it's a blessing that we can do it together. And it's so great. But we are always together. And we're bound to, like Chuck said, we're all creative and we're all having
But that's how it's always
we
been.
We want us all to do so well that we're like very passionate about our ideas and moving forward. So it's like, oh well, we should go about it this way. But it's like, all right, we got to think of everyone and like kind of use that to like think about what everyone's saying and then like come to a compromise. To move forward.
For me, it's all cake that I just get to be with these guys, and just to be with my kids, to be able to play. That's great. And then we kind of supersede that, and then we move into the creative portion of it. And it's like, I think, I as not the musician, but as the father, I see the great talents that these guys have. And I want to, pull it out of them. Mm-hmm. That the things that they don't see. Yeah. And I can get on their nerves.
Sure.
And they do the same for me. They do the same for me.
Speaking of getting on my nerves, that was my son.
Nah, that's all right. That's the world's greatest barista. Okay, that's good. But that's what I could say. And we are creative. We have great ideas. And we're still, developing our relationship, not as father and children or brother and sister, but as a band. We're still growing. So there's going to be hiccups left and right. But it seems like every time we have one of them, we get stronger. And then we iron it out. And then something happens when we're playing. It's like, we'll have a little blip. Then we go and play. And it's like, damn, So it's just, you become tighter. Yeah. It's a chemistry that I can't articulate. I can't get it proper. I can't.
No, you're right though.
You understand what I'm saying?
And I've seen it.
You know what I mean?
Being around, right? And listen, we said we were going to put it all out on the table. The night of the Unplugged here. you and Joe were fighting an hour before the show, and then
what else is new?
But then just killed it. Like you use that. I feel like maybe you guys also use that to fuel.
Tends to happen.
Each other, right?
Well,
I don't know.
I think it's like
it's getting better.
It's like they don't know how to communicate when it comes to like
Jacob,
like
Stop!
their feelings, and then when we get into a music setting, it's like almost like
we
where
talk on our instruments.
It's like a form of like
The show must go
feeling,
on.
like,
So
okay, like, I don't know how to describe it, but it's like it's a weird thing where it's like.
So you just.
You want me to hold it and give it to you? Okay. So like
I don't know.
For Joe, Chuck, and I, we've been playing so long together that it's like we could not talk for a week. Come up and play, and Joe and Chuck know where I'm going.
Yeah.
They know how to accent my. They know how to accent my great things and hide my shortcomings.
Right.
And we do the same for each other, and that's the beauty of it. It's just so.
It just
Look,
goes,
every band's
that's a
gonna do
positive
this.
too.
We're gonna every band is gonna go through hiccups. We're still growing. They're still young. I'm not, but as a group, we're young.
Yeah.
So it's gonna
Gotta
take
get
time
Gigi
to iron
working.
things out. But when we get on the same page, especially with how we're doing things, creatively, when it clicks, it's like
it's magic.
It's not just musically. I'm not saying musically. I'm
Just
not just
in
saying musically. I'm saying from when these kids want to get to people or booking gigs or marketing the band,
The
getting out
videos
there,
or whatever.
It's like, all right, dog, I got you.
Yeah.
and I just do your thing.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I said this to Joe. I don't know. A couple weeks ago, Joe came by and you were here. Remember that day we just kind of sat here all day and we were talking about different ideas.
I don't know. I don't have the best memory.
Ava, do
you remember
that
Ava?
day that you guys
You weren't even here, but they were here. Do you remember that?
No, Ava was here. But, I said the four of you each have your own, I think, special skill set that you bring to the business end of this band, right? Yeah. Like, you are the charismatic one. You're the face, right? You're the video guy.
I wouldn't say he's the face,
hand
but
clapper. You're the
face is.
Well,
Mikayla's the face.
Mikayla's the face.
She's more recognizable than us three, I would say.
I mean, in the promo videos, they've all been
social media videos.
It is. It's all
pretty much,
though, right? Yeah, I think you're the schmoozer. You're the talker. You're the one that when people hear Monty, the first thing they think of is, oh, this is Russ's family, right? Obviously. I mean, you're the diva. You're the beauty to the beast, right?
And they are beasts.
But you have shown me how business-minded you really are, and a lot of the promotion and the ideas are coming from.
I would say I'm the organizer. I'll get everybody on the same page.
Yeah.
Like so much the videos, like I'll have my input, but that's more like
me
their thing because like that's what you go to school for. That's what you do as a job. But as far as like, when we have to do this, we gotta do this at this time by this date, or like posting, or like
Joe plans very
or
well.
getting us booked or whatever,
sharing,
like doing all that stuff. Like I'm more of the like that type of thing.
The thing with Joe is that he'll have it planned out, and if we need to tweak some things, he's good at like tweaking them for us.
I always give us more than enough time because I know one night we're not gonna want to do something. We just push it back.
But we also know, like as a group too, like when we need to grind, when we need to be on our stuff, and if we get veered off, we kind of hold each other accountable. And I know Joe does a good job of that too. Like we got to be on our.
I'm rough.
Because, like, but I mean that's.
Ish, is that like the kids' word for shit?
I was gonna say it, but
I'm sorry.
But anyway,
it's a PG podcast.
It's a PG podcast.
No. But yeah, I mean we just.
You don't have the right group for that.
PG, except for the alcohol.
Yeah.
But back to your question about the positives, like I like.
What you thought about
I just don't have. No, I don't have. I don't have anything off the top of my head because, like, I don't know. That's how it's always been.
Yeah.
Like,
positive is I think
like there's positives to it, But obviously, this is the one that when we were talking,
How about getting closer with your siblings and your family?
that's what I was gonna say. Like, we're always together, and we know, like, opposed to being in like another band, like, we always know what's going on with each other for the most part. Like, that's like we're always coordinated, I guess. Would you say?
That's sweet though. Even when you were away and we were together, and you were like, "Oh, Mikayla's she just called to check in," and I'm like, "That's so cute." Like, I love that, because
when did I do that?
How come they don't do that for their father?
No, I probably did.
Well, no. What I think is interesting is you had said you're growing as a band, you're growing as siblings and but they're all maturing. You have 3 adult children now, right? So, that's a whole different dynamic in and of itself, right? Like, you see, your sons are men now. Give another.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you. I think I'm so proud of these 3. All my children I'm not proud of. Yet these guys.
Yeah. Ava. But I'm not even going to specify
what was I saying?
One.
I can't remember.
Just Ava.
Right. So, when I was coming up, it's just been lately. I just had this sense of gratitude come over me. Like, when I was 19, 20, it was wrestling or bust. That's it. And no other plans. And then I got hurt, and it got taxing, and I had to scramble to figure out what I wanted to do. And to see the way these young adults work, and how they invest in themselves, they're enjoying their time. They're not reckless, but they're investing in their education. Joe is going hard on the band, like he's working his tail off. And I'm like, these kids are not afraid to get their hands dirty. And I'm just you're so far ahead. And only as a parent, I'm looking at it like, at 20 years old, I was La La Land.
None of us.
Yeah.
None of us were doing at 20.
You guys have
what you guys are doing.
Right.
None of us.
Right. It just makes you feel pretty good that I don't have to worry about that, because these kids are not these young adults. Sorry, my kids.
Yeah.
My children they're doing something for themselves, and they take pride in being productive, and that means so much to me. That's like, it just takes a weight off of my shoulder and my mind, because you want to see them do better than you. You want your kids to be elevated better than you are, and it's just great. It's just great. That's the whole thing with the band. But I'm in there, so I'm with them all the time, and I see what they're doing. I'm like, man, these are dead. Can you help me?
To that point, though. But to that point, no one could ever say that these 3, like anybody that's ever been in Via Venito's back when these 3 worked there, like, they were hustlers from, what were you, 15 when you worked there?
Yeah, I started 15, yeah.
And, you all 3, every single time, we went to Via's a lot, and every time I went in there, I think you lived there.
Yeah, Joe was there a lot.
Joe was there constantly. Right, like, you're all hustlers.
I just feel like it comes from, like, us learning that, like, we just got to go out and get it in a way. And, like, just from when we were young, like, I don't know.
Like, if you want something,
we just
you
want
just
it. We just do it,
Yeah.
Like, we don't think twice about anything.
Yeah.
Like, if we want something, we're going to work, and we're going to get it, And that's what our mom and dad taught us. Like, they taught us, like, you got to... both you guys, but, like, they both taught us, like, you just got to do it. And, both mom and dad, they work really hard, too. So it's like, we get to see them. Like, it influenced us, if that makes sense. It influenced us when we were younger. So it's what it is. I feel like, it's not anything that it's new, but it's just like we've done it. So
You can't put them down in the glass.
I can do whatever I want.
I'm an adult. I can do whatever the hell I want.
She's 51.
She's 51, everybody.
I don't know that was necessary.
Not only necessary.
you're 51 too.
You are. You're 51 too. You're 53.
Who?
You.
It's true. It's true.
Now that we all know how old we are.
Okay, all right. Next topic.
You have anything else to add to this?
Am I allowed to ask a question yet?
Yes, go ahead.
We might have to edit this part out.
No,
I don't
go
know.
ahead.
Joe, wasn't there a time when you had to be talked into being in the band in the first place?
May have been.
What changed your mind?
Me?
It's a good question. They needed drummer. I was like, I could play drums, I guess. Mike Nat was like, oh yeah, you should do it. It's like, oh, all right, I guess. I don't know. And then I enjoyed it. I mean, I want to continue to do it.
I mean, you've always
But
had drumsticks in your hand since you came out of the womb. So.
I kind of figured once Mike was done playing with everybody that, they were gonna ask me, I guess. I don't know. Right? I don't know.
It's a compelling story, Joe.
I don't have a story. It just happened. It was supposed to be that way. You know what I mean?
That's how it was with everybody.
That's how I feel like. I don't know.
Clearly, it was.
Mike Nat talked me into it, but I mean that's kind of the way it was supposed to be.
It was.
In the end, I don't know.
What was always adorable is, you were just a little peanut. Like you were just little.
I've grown so much.
You really have. Like since anybody here that's watching has seen you, you have developed. You're a man now, and you were a little boy. Really, you had just turned 16, I think.
Yeah. 2 months prior, right?
2 months prior, but watching the two of you just have so much fun, that I've said this before. I'll say it 1,000 times. My favorite thing always when this family is on stage is to watch Russell enjoy watching his children. Yeah. That's always been my favorite thing. Can you think of a time in specifically recent shows where it's the four of you, where you're kind of like, damn, listen to Mikayla. Or wow, look at Joe.
He hits me every time. What Joe does on the drums is just amazing, and I don't ever get to catch it sometimes. So he'll be me and him will just lock sometimes, and just look at each other, and he's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Joe, I just want to watch you play."
Right.
I'm being serious. Sometimes I just don't think about it because we've been doing it for so long.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I don't know, and then I look at him, and I just watch play. I'm like, holy shit! This guy is just killing it. He's a metronome. All
right, relax. And then I ain't that great. Relax.
Joe. Listen.
I'm good
You're
enough.
You're allowed to say thank you, brother.
Thank you. Thanks, Chuck. But
my dad, it's the same thing. What he does on live that he doesn't really do in practice, he kind of hides his tricks sometimes too. And so he'll be playing whatever, right?
Yeah.
And I'll turn and we'll be playing Chain of Fools or something. And then me and him will hit the same thing. We'll just be locking, and I'll just look over, and I'm just smiling at him, it's just a cool dynamic. And then Mikayla, it's just cool to see Mikayla just get out and get her voice and just be confident.
Oh yeah,
I love it.
The thing is, where? Honestly, I gotta think of this. I gotta think how I'm going to say this.
Mom, you better get your cards ready.
So she got the cue card. Shut up! Shut your mouth.
We have a safe word.
So what happened? I think.
Listen. One of the cue cards. Smile. Laugh. Where's the one that says, shut up, Russ?
Ava, get on it.
You know what? So, now, please don't take this. I'm not trying to be cocky. I'm saying there's talent in the room. These kids have been doing it for so long, right? For an extended period of time. And when we practice and we bang through these songs, it's funny how it happens easy for them. I play catch up, okay? But I think sometimes because you've been singing and you guys have been playing for so long and so many different variables in church, the other band, all the things that we've done over these years, that it becomes second nature. So when we have these moments, it's like, oh my gosh, this, it's we have to be intentional about picking up on those moments. That's what I've been getting at for this extended period of time. And I see it. That it was October, I guess, we played at the Rib House, and Mikayla went off, and you just caught that song, you owned it, you owned the stage, and I was like, damn, I was like, really, I was like, whoa, this is a special thing going on here. So it's like, because it happens easy. It happens easy for these guys. They pick it up quickly. And it's second nature. It's almost, what's the 50 Cent word where they say, you take it for granted because they have it in them.
Is that a 50 Cent word?
Well, maybe it's 25 and a half. But my point is, it comes easy to them.
Yeah.
So we have to realize that we have to have some gratitude for what we really got going, because there's a lot of talent.
Oh, 100%. For you, right? You don't play an instrument, right? So you're up there, and you're finding your way, right? Because when you would sing in church, you would have people around you, and in the other project, you had people around you. This is now you're carrying the weight. How do you feel about that?
Well, I'll be honest. In the beginning, I was like it was very anxiety inducing.
Sure.
I would say it would stress me out to the point where I would just be like, I don't know.
Right.
And I would just get all flustered and just I don't know. It was hard for me to step out of my comfort zone, but I feel like after doing it, it's almost what would the word? It's just
getting easier,
it's
Is it empowering?
Yeah,
Cathartic,
I guess that would be.
cathartic.
It's definitely empowering, and it's one of those things that I never thought that I would
I know what you're going to say.
I don't really it's just a cool thing because there's always I don't like that. I always feel uncomfortable, but it's interesting because I actually like it now.
Yeah.
It's something that I enjoy. But I feel like it took it took a lot to get.
I think you've done good
to this
from
point.
the whole
don't know.
time. I think it's been I mean for the people looking on the outside, I don't think to me you've done fine every gig we've had.
She
you know what I
has,
mean?
But there's definitely been a shift.
Yeah.
And you almost can see your shoulders relax a little bit. You're I am meant to be here. This is where I'm supposed to be. I deserve this. And when you open your mouth, Lord,
It's game on.
it's game on. It's game on, and
It's
it's
game on.
and what do I always say to you? What did I say to you the other
You
night
say
at
a
sheet
lot.
practice?
Open your mouth.
Because
Just
people,
open your
and what I
Open
mean
your
by that
eyes,
is-
that's what you say.
Open her eyes just during that one song, but open your mouth, because when you can tell when Mikayla's in a groove and she's hitting her stride, she's hitting notes and singing with such passion that it's spellbinding. It really is.
No, it's cool. Let me just, and this is it. I promise. Don't hit me with the times up.
Look at Jake.
So
Everybody
don't
just
hit me
look
with
at
the
Jake
times.
for a second.
She's throwing a
Playing with his mustache like Jimmy Walker.
dynamite. Oh. So no, it's funny because I can remember as these guys as kids, young kids, Mikayla would be singing all day long, cleaning a room or doing something, singing. And Joe's Bam Bam, just hitting things, and, cracking things.
Like in church.
Yeah.
All the time.
That's right. Joe, shut up. Yeah. The priest would be saying,
Right, Mom?
now let's pray prayer of the faithful. I'm right. I go, I guess. Right. And then Chuck.
I do it second nature. I don't even know
it just was coming out of him.
Bop,
And then Chuck, he'd be in a room, just you hear him strumming, hitting all kind of crazy notes, and I'm like, oh my gosh, is this boy ever going to quit? Right? And then look at where we're at now.
Oh, right.
Because it's in you. Just with any musician, any people that look, it's in you. That's all I'm saying. That's it.
Short version.
Short version, yeah.
You guys go. That's enough.
I don't want to talk over you. Do you have anything you'd like to ask at this moment?
I do have a question.
Go ahead.
Maybe it's even a question that you'll get to.
Maybe, but go
I'm going
ahead.
to take it.
Go ahead.
How do you pick the songs? How does a song get, I'm sure you pick a lot of songs. How does one get all the way to the set?
And how much credit do you give to the text that Jason and I sent you with songs that none of you ever respond to?
I'll plead the fifth on that one.
Yeah, good
I'm taking my Miranda.
I would say I pick most of the songs, but it's not like, well, some of them I'm like, oh, we should do this. And everybody like, okay, or we'll talk about it. It really depends. In the beginning, like, I really just picked out, like, I mean, I feel like we kind of all picked them out.
Ideas. Joe had a lot more ideas than all of us did,
and
then
I have like, I know what everybody likes. So it's not like, we have to, like, sometimes I'm like, I really think we should play this. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But, like, for the most part, I know stuff that we all like that we'll all pick. So I'll be like, I think we should do these songs or whatever. And they'll be like, yeah, or whatever. Like whatever. Like, yeah. I'll give a rough, like.
That was, like, the first. So we had to learn, like, 30, 40 songs our first gig. So we just bump them out and learn.
Yeah, like But
exactly. Now as we're learning more, usually everyone brings one song.
At least,
and then we'll plan out like 1 to 2 songs a person. And then like
we'll plan practices
around the songs, but now it's pretty much everyone's picking.
Yeah. Like in the beginning, I literally, like, me and Chuck kind of sat down and were like, what can we do that we already do that will work well, and then what's stuff that we're gonna have to learn, and like what do we still want to play and what do we don't.
It's also hard, like we're 4 people, so there's some songs that just won't necessarily sound
work anymore.
But you're also 4 people with while at the core you have a similar taste in music. I feel like you lean a little bit more country. I think you're more straightforward rock.
Yeah.
Right? You're more blues. And I mean, you kind of,
funk machine.
I mean, you just got done saying that that MC Hammer record changed your life. So.
Hey, man. I can't
you know what I mean?
I can't help it.
And just generationally, too. There's music that you know that they've never heard, but I feel like they're very responsive to what you...
That's how I got tied up.
This is the thing with these guys, is that I don't know if it's from me, from wearing music all the time, but they know the greats.
Yeah.
And they respect that. So they incorporate that type of music. That's where they push themselves to the ones that stopped music. Say, look, hello, Chili Peppers, hello, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Eric Clapton, because these guys set the trends. So they have that respect of the history of music, and that's where a lot of our music comes from. Led Zeppelin, all these songs that we do, it's because these guys they're not just they're not hacks. They're coming in with a musical knowledge, and a lot of it is on their own. I didn't force them.
Right.
The only thing I did was play that Stevie Ray Vaughan record for about 19 times, right, all day long. That's the only thing I really did. My stuff I preferred. I like classical. I like big band stuff, but I'm a hip hop guy. So and R&B and Motown. But my point is the stuff that you hear is basically of their choice because they know the history behind it. They know what the impact on music was. And they pride themselves on it because Joe will tell you what's up. Chuck
I watch a lot of YouTube.
They work hard at that.
Yeah. Well, I also think that like it's challenging. Like you could play any pop song. Like it's a way for them to express their musicianship and their knowledge, like to show their craft. Like Chuck is out here ripping solos from like I don't know. It's just it's a way for him to fully show like what he's capable of and then put his own twist on top of it, which is cool. And Joe too, like we choose songs on purpose that have complex showcase.
And if you don't
have complex parts that
if you don't challenge yourself, you're never going to get better. So like if we want to play something more challenging, that's just getting us better
it's
too.
Also respecting like you're honoring the people that come before you. You know what I mean? Like I know maybe it's a little smaller scale now, but whatever. It's still like we try and think about like, okay, how can we respect the people that wrote this song? How can we do it justice? But how can we make it our own too?
Sure.
Yeah.
And it's like, those parts that highlight our talents, and so we make it our own. But we work on trying to get the soul and the like magic of the song. I don't know what the word would be, but like that's how we honor them, and then we put our twist
saying
to
about
what it is.
Voodoo Child, like he's doing Jimi Hendrix justice by
Stevie Ray.
like, well, yes, Stevie Ray. Sorry.
More Stevie Ray.
No,
Yeah,
Jimmy too. Both of them.
But like, he's expressing his interpretation of what they did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's
like
a
paying
cool
homage
thing.
to
Yeah.
them, you know.
And I mean,
When I'm playing, I'm like, am I doing Jamerson right?
Right.
You know, in my mind.
Right.
and I feel like we like not even to like the huge bands that wrote the songs too. Like it's like we like if we're let me think about this. We take like advice. That's what I'm trying to say. Like
Yeah, you do.
even if it's like Mike Nat or somebody saying, "Oh, you should do this differently" or whatever. Like
You're listening to.
yeah, we listen to the people that came before us. That's what I'm trying to say. I can't get it out.
Remember when we
It's
did
part
our
of the habit
podcast
of
and
that.
we said every time we mention Russ's name we should drink or something? We should do that with Mike Nat with this crew.
You know what I mean though? Like not even like I'll listen to all the old interviews and I'll like if we can do something different from what like whoever's on a podcast like
Yeah.
that wrote the song or whatever, like, oh, I'll incorporate that in us. And like that's on like a big scale, but even smaller scale, if like somebody's been playing around for a while, like they say something like I'll listen.
No, I notice like when we're out, right? You really do take the time to have a conversation with some of these more seasoned players in our music community, and I think that's so invaluable. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, we also have been surrounded by so many good people while we were younger too to teach us the ropes, like all the people from Bethany and John. And
well,
both
let's
Johns
talk
and
about that.
Ken and
Who
this
would
and that.
you say
Like,
is your biggest musical inspiration?
like
That's a
Personally.
That's
You personally.
what kind are we talking about? Celebrity or
Mentor.
Anybody, it could be either. It's whoever, like when you think about, when you pick up the guitar,
I think about Ken Yoder.
you think about Ken Yoder.
Because he's the one who, taught me everything I know, and he's taught all of us a lot of stuff throughout